Hello and welcome. If you guys don't know, we started a YouTube channel. We still don't have a name for it yet, but
It'll come.
this was the inaugural podcast hosted by myself, Brian, and next to me is Tony Anetta, our culinary expert.
Sorry. I jumped the gun on the freaking
and our little amateur financier, Steve Sturkia.
Get back on the picture.
And that's it. So
This place looks absolutely sexy. This guy's done a lot of great work up to now.
Yeah, good job, Brian.
Yeah,
thank
we're
you.
just coasting on this right now. Here's to the official first.
Let's do this.
Ragazzi, nice.
So this is
Cheers.
the first one. Even though we don't have a name,
Yeah.
but
We'll get there.
we're gonna post this one. This is gonna be our first one that we post when we decide on a name and create a channel. It'll be the
Be
one we
ups and
post.
downs until we get the hang of it.
Definitely, it's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be a rough path, but it will be a journey. And hopefully, it becomes interesting, and we still have the spirit to
It's great for posterity too. It's always like you go back and say, oh my gosh, how well are we doing? Are we growing? It's good.
Yeah. Plus, we're always getting together. We're always talking about stuff. Why not do it and get comfortable and make it
agree.
make it something into something, right?
I also was thinking, this could be. Oh shit! Sorry, guys.
Guys, get used to it.
Officially, I forgot about this pedal here.
Even if it's on us.
Guitar pedal should. So, yeah, I was also thinking that it could be also. This is fun together to do it, but also an opportunity maybe little business project we can do together. Maybe think of an idea. It could be also an opportunity to expand in that sense where.
What do you mean expand?
Where we can find a way to do a business together at the same time, a little project where we're growing together, and I don't know, do something in that sense.
That's what I was saying. We're always talking.
Yeah.
If this can turn into something, because we like doing it, it could be something that can evolve into something financially.
Of course, but I don't necessarily know what pedal here. Just like in a sense where could it be that we can maybe do a little side project together? Hey,
I've always feel like I always had this itch of being like an entrepreneur. It's never had like really like
The drive.
No, I've always had the drive. The drive was never the issue. It was just like the idea that I can give my 100%. Because I've done a few projects in my life that they end up doing nothing. Put so much work into it, and before it gets into fruition, it just dies out. And I've always been hesitant, unless I'm really, really committed to. Like this podcast, yeah, it's a bit of investment up front, but it's not like it's still fun. Like it's still like it's.
Well, that's what we want it to be, right? That's what we want it to be. Fun, and then see how it evolves from there. You don't have to give it 100% right away. We all have our lives, but see where it goes. Take it one step at a time. We're not going to start running before we learn how to crawl, right?
No, of course not. But this itself is kind of venture. Could be a possible business venture. 100%. Obviously, it's not going to see any fruitions in the beginning, but if we're lucky or keep at it and evolve, do something original, do something that relates to people. It's possible. What we do today in 5 months from now, it can be completely different.
Anyway, so what do you want to talk about?
Anyway, first I want to do breaking news of Trump getting fucking $350 million fucking
what the
getting in the teeth. And what was it? 2 weeks before was 80 million.
2 weeks before what?
2 weeks before was 80 million.
That got
Jeannie Carroll, the rape charge or sexual assault charge, and this week
defamation.
Yeah, it's true. He didn't get to the
It's not-
assault. It was
it's
the
not the same thing, it's
defamation. Yeah, yeah.
defamation.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Why didn't he do criminal? Because it was statute of limitation.
Yeah, it was a civil suit, right?
Pretty official.
It was a civil suit, but why was it not a criminal?
I think it's statute of limitations.
Yeah,
If
it
I
was
understood
20
right.
years later.
But now he can't do any business in New York, right?
In New York, yeah. So like, well, you can't be for 3 years. Can't. I don't know if he could do. I know he can't be like on a board meeting. He can't be a CEO. He can't be anything like. It's gonna.
Freaking orange brick. Eh?
And this is all,
Another
and this is all because he
orange brick.
defrauded. He overemphasized what he was worth in order to get finance, right?
He inflated his value when he went for loans, and he deflated his value when he did his taxes, which is considered. You have two different numbers so it benefits you. That's what he did.
And he's still gonna be. Can you imagine? This guy's gonna end up freaking also possibility to becoming still a president after this.
I don't think so.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see what the American public is crazy enough to do it. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And yeah.
Well, that's true.
I want to start off with that breaking news.
Push
Talking
that
about
pedal.
talking about breaking news. I want to talk about what I read in the news yesterday.
Okay.
The Putin thing. I was telling you about it earlier on. I was gonna, because when the news first came out, you heard about it, Steve, right? You didn't hear what happened?
Why don't you give some
Yeah.
background?
Well, that's what I was asking him for. Well,
Walking.
yesterday came out that one of his rivals that was running for government got put in jail, obviously for wrongdoing, right? And he had like an 18-year sentence. And yesterday came out from the Russian government plus the heads of the prison in Russia. And this guy died while taking a walk. He collapsed. He wasn't feeling good. He collapsed, and they couldn't revive him. But when I read the news 24 hours ago, it was like nobody said that it's a it didn't make sense that he would just die like that, right? Like, and I automatically related to Jeffrey Epstein. When they said he committed suicide, everybody said, how can you commit suicide? He got killed. Nobody was saying that, but now, 24 hours later, everybody's saying, nah, it looks like Putin was involved, right? But it's crazy because he always gets away with shit like this.
It's his own country.
And now with all these countries involved, it's escalating more. This is going to escalate all these frictions that are going on in the country. It's going to infuse the risk of an actual world war. No?
I mean, I don't know.
They should get rid of him.
Could it be that they do you hear anything or? Oh, am I?
Yeah, so Tony's getting all the mic from Tony. So
That's why I was hearing feedback.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This has to be faced.
Anyways, what do you think about
So,
that?
guys, what I want to say, Tony, was, do you hear me now a little bit better?
Yeah.
I could hear you.
Okay. Well, as for like Putin, he's just a freaking, he's a bully. That's all he is, bully anything that he does, and officially a real prick, I guess. But as for this type of situation, actually his wife, the gentleman that passed away here, his wife just announced that, to the world, she did this big conference, and she went to the conference instead of like attending what's going on in the country with her own husband. She went to this other conference.
She's out of the country?
She's out of the country at the moment. She's in Germany or something. Some type of conference was in there. And she announced that, listen, Putin has to be responsible for this and needs to be accountable. And the people of Russia need to be aware that, my husband was killed. And
He's a dictator, but he's a dictator.
Yeah.
It's but he is.
Anyways, could it be civil war eventually in Russia?
No. Too scared. People are too scared. He got too much control.
Well, he's definitely going to win.
He is. What's going to end it is somebody has to kill him from the outside. Somebody from another country, some government, because he pissed someone off. And this Ukrainian war is a good opportunity to do something because he's doing something he shouldn't be doing, right?
I wouldn't say
Humanitarian
it's
rights.
going to be a civil war, but definitely an attempt to. Yes, I was watching some things. So now I guess it's their election year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two opponents trying to rally against them that are anti-war, and basically that's what their message. That's what they're campaigning on. So one girl, they eliminated her because she forgot to cross the T's and dot the I's in her application. Something stupid of her application. Okay?
Classic.
They rejected her application. Then the other guy who was running against him, they pulled a Trump, and there's like a Republican thing saying that I guess they have to sign a petition to get a certain number of signatures to be qualified to
Run.
run in the election, and they're claiming that a lot of his signatures were from dead people. They're fake and phony.
These elections
so
are a
he's
farce.
getting disqualified. Unbelievable.
These elections are a farce, right?
Of course.
They make it look like there's but it's not.
Of course.
What were you gonna say when we were talking upstairs about this, about my point of view? You said you wanted to wait until.
That's when we're talking about North Korea, no?
Yeah. Because I said unofficially, it can entice a world war, but so many people are already involved in all these war and on all these. We are in kind of a world war right now.
Because you're
unofficially
referring to that video with whatever Bet David, whatever, like Patrick Bet David, and he was commenting that we're kind of in the middle of a world war already, which I disagree with a world war, but yes, we have kind of the beginning of a storm that could possibly end up being a world war, and this really is all depending on what Russia situation and what Russia will happen. If Russia, let's say Russia took over Ukraine, guaranteed China would have started with trying to get Taiwan. Guaranteed. If no one helped out Ukraine, China would have gone Taiwan.
That's true.
Taiwan. And North Korea, I think, would have probably done something with South Korea. That's what the feelings are. But because Russia did dismal, they're pretty much an embarrassment. They're pretty much, the curtain has fallen. And everyone sees they're a paper tiger. They were all show and really no teeth to what they claim. So he was saying that recently, North Korea is kind of like bulging their muscles and shooting these missiles over Japan and South Korea and stuff like that. And this is not true. This is not a fact. This is my opinion. And my opinion was because Russia's military equipment looked so futile in Ukraine, so subpar. There's there's so many defective, especially their tanks have the big defective. If you hit the tank in a certain way, I don't know if you're aware of how the tanks are built. The T-72s, the T-90s, the T-64s or T-62s. They have an automatic loader, right? So it's like a carousel right at where the turret is. But once you get that part,
done.
That all that ammunition lights up, boom, bust up. So I was saying because Russia's equipment looks bad, and who's been North Korea? I'm sure 98% of their military equipment is from Russia. Now because they know their equipment looks so shitty on the world stage, they want to flex their muscles with their new missiles.
They're trying to save face.
They're trying to save face. So like, okay, people think we have shitty equipment. Well, check out our new missiles. So they're just, my opinion is just trying to flex their muscles, their nuclear program, and all that. So that's why North Korea is kind of stirring the pot right now.
Mm-hmm.
But
so is Iran, right? Iran is they've been on fire too, right?
Yeah, they're indirectly, but they're not really directly.
I mean, they've been funding all these terrorist organizations all over the place, and they spread their wings, all over the place, and they're trying to cause chaos, of course, because that's all they can do is cause chaos. And these subtle, and whether it's whatever C it might be, whatever land it might be, they're always trying to like stir the pot, of course, and it's so frustrating, because we're always on knife's edge. We're always waiting, Listen, my partner, his family's from there. They're there, and they're not practicing Muslims. They're not practicing. They're just you know people who just enjoy life and care about humanity, and they don't care about what the government says. Gosh, and but then you hear their government talk on and they're just blabbing all kinds of things about the states, about the Jews, about whatever it might be, and they're always stirring the pot. They feel very uncomfortable, of course, and knowing that there's like always this close to war breaking out in their own country, they're scared. So it must be a tough situation, especially you're in Iran.
I always find it funny that every country that critiques the Western world, like states, or about how so terrible death to America or whatever, are always coming from countries that treat their own people like shit. It's always they imprison people that just say anything. It's like really the Western world is worse than you guys. You imprison anything for just saying something.
It's just a propaganda machine. That's all it is.
I have a question though. Before we go more off topic, regards to my initial question. Since we know that, about the leave it like this, it's fine. On the three of us, it's gonna go back and forth with this question. Since we know that Putin is full of shit, why does I know it's probably gonna cause a war. You can't just go into somebody's country when you know they're guilty, but you have the UN, right? He keeps doing this. He has in the past he's poisoned people in the government, in the military, just to
the UN. What's the UN gonna do?
No, but I'm just saying, you can't go. You're supposed to be a democratic. You're claiming to be a democratic country, and you're killing off people. We can prove it. Can't somebody just go in there and
Who's gonna be the guy?
If somebody goes in, the States, China's gonna get involved, right? Or
who's gonna go to Russia and pull the trigger? China?
Not China. What about the States?
The States. If the States goes into their country, what's China gonna say? It's a very fragile, fabric that we have to live in to make this move. It's got to be some dissident in the country that has to do it. When he has balls to do it.
The only reason Putin can flex all this muscle and do it is because he has the. Without these nukes, he would have been taken out a long time. Russia would have been taken out.
There's the answer that I was looking for.
It's there nukes, you go. Of course.
Yeah, so that's what it was.
The best way to stay out of war is to have the biggest guns, the biggest weapon. No one's gonna mess with you, man. Yeah. If you don't have the nukes, it would be the whole difference.
And that Tucker Carlson interview, was that funny or what? How he just it was very softball stuff, eh?
An idiot, Tucker Carlson. Come on.
Whatever. It doesn't matter if he's an idiot or not. At the end of the day, he actually had the balls. Listen, it could have gone south no matter what, kind of thing. But at least.
What did he ask him?
It was a little more softball stuff.
He went there to get a history lesson. In fact, that's what he did. Basically, Putin's point of view of why he went to Ukraine, because promises were broken, and because in 1960 and it was like an hour-long fight.
That's a soliloquy.
And this guy just looking at him like this. Oh, Tucker Carlson, not pushing back, not nothing, just listen.
Because he was scared out of his ass, probably.
Well, I would watch what I say if I was in Russia. I wouldn't piss off that guy. Go to my hotel room and next week I don't wake up. I wouldn't mess with that guy.
I obviously did it. He did it for the views, of course. But at the end of the day, he still went.
Well, why do you think he went? Why do you think Putin talked to him? Because the guy, he knows he's a right-wing sycophant. Yeah, he actually praised Putin in the past. He would not ask any other journalist except Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson, he knew it was going to be a softball.
Super softball, unfortunately.
Even Putin didn't put him in his place at one point. He goes, "Are we going to have a a talk show, or are we going to have a serious talk?" I know. And Tucker was like, "Okay," he really put him in his place. But
Well, it was interesting that he went down there though, still, and
I gotta watch it. I didn't watch it. I saw.
just seen
I
it.
didn't watch it all. I just pretty much got the commentary on it
Mhm.
and the highlights of it. And from what I see, usually there's like 3-4 guys that I watch, and pretty much they all said the same. It was a joke.
Another interesting thing that happened with Zelensky, he fired his general.
Yeah, I heard
That's
something
and
about it.
actually, so like I know a few Ukrainian guys that I work with once in a while, and they know their Ukrainian politics, of course, and so the general is an actual real patriot, and that Zelensky is actually firing him.
Like a power trip thing, like a
I don't know, maybe a disagreement of some sort, but now he's an actual eligible person to run
against
against
Zelensky.
Zelensky. And the
Interesting.
people are more for this general than Zelensky. Because Zelensky, is even these Ukrainian dudes, they think, wow, this guy's a real joke. Zelensky we're talking about.
I was actually thinking about that. Zelensky's been there for a while. He was there when Trump was there, right?
Yeah.
And now he's still there. Like, I guess during war they postponed elections, or I don't know, they're 6 years their terms anyway. But he's been there for a while.
That's a good question. How many terms there may be, I'm not sure. Zero clue.
I don't know if you guys been following the States recently, politics. So, pretty much, Republicans, since Biden's been in office, Republicans and Trump pretty much been critiquing Biden and the Biden administration on mostly the economy is bad, right?
You actually made it good, actually.
But the economy was bad when Biden
Yeah.
took office. For the next first 2-3 years, they were blasting the economy is bad. Also, the elections are not safe, right? That was one main key they're always complaining about, bitching about, Trump complaining about the elections are not safe, the elections are rigged, no.
Mm.
And then almost the immigration crisis. They're bitching about Biden. They're not doing anything, saying millions of people are crossing the border every day. The United States is being invaded, bringing a drug there. Basically, that's their running point. That's what Trump was, even though he wasn't running he was rallying on that. That's basically the main topic they're talking about. Come 3 years later, 4 years later, Biden shatters all aspects of the economy, right? He shatters inflation dropping, considering where it was when he started. Gas prices dropped. They're now producing the most gas or draining whatever refining gas ever since ever, I guess. Stock market all-time high, even higher than when Trump was always touting about. And another thing, now that the stock market's amazing, all the right-wing pundits like, oh, the stock market's not a good indication that the economy is good. But when Trump was in power, they were always talking, oh, the stock is good. Trump, he knows he's a good businessman. He knows how to run this country. Everyone's happy. But when Biden's in power, it's not a good indicator. Anyways, the economy is so good that even the right wing, like on Fox News, Business Channel and stuff like that, they're actually praising Biden.
Yeah, they started.
They started saying they started giving him props. This is a good economy. Biden's doing a good job. So now, Trump and the Republicans, what do they have left? Complain about immigration. Say complaining Biden, he's not doing a good job. Trump did a good job, even though Trump did nothing. What did Trump do? Trump had the House, had the Senate. What did he do? He focused on talking about the wall, which he never built the wall. And the only thing he did at the border was take away children from their parents when they crossed the border.
But now the Democrats on the wall too, right?
No, they never went off the wall.
No.
So that's their main talking point. That's what Trump wanted, was going to bash him through the election. That's his main thing. What happens 2 weeks ago?
What happened?
Democrats, the Senate Democrats, team up with Senate Republicans and draw a bill that cover all the issues that Republicans have been bitching about.
Okay.
It would be more stricter on the border. It would give more money to the immigration border police or border.
This is with the Democrats.
The Democrats decided to team up with Republicans because they know this is an issue. A lot of people have an issue with this, so they wanted to fix it up. They want to do something about it. Even though Trump could have done something about it when they had a House, then they did fuck all. So they finally drew a bill It was attached with the immigration bill. It was attached with an aid package to Ukraine, an aid package to for Israel, right? It passed in the Senate. So usually when you make a law, it has to pass through the House, pass through the Senate, and the president signs it. But it can also pass through the Senate first, goes back to the House. They request changes or vote for change, and it goes back and forth through those levels. Passed unanimously in the Senate, goes back to the House. Trump says, no, guys, don't sign it because it looks good for Biden for the election. And I'm basically saying I have nothing to bitch about or use as during my election campaign. So for 4 fucking years, these guys have been bitching about the immigration. When they have an opportunity to actually do it, we don't have to make a law. The president can do an executive order, which is not true because Trump did executive orders for the wall, and it went to court and never got anything done because people went to court and it never passed the court. It always got dropped or it took too long in the courts to ever do anything. They don't want to take care. They don't want to do anything. They're like, no. Basically, they want to give Biden a win. They don't want to make the Democrats look good, and they want to give Trump some firing power for election. Now, this week, they took out the immigration bill, the immigration reform packet or bill, and they just really want to pass. Even Biden they want to pass money to Ukraine, a $65 billion package.
They just focused on that.
They just focused on that. They cut that part out. The Senate said, okay. Biden goes on the news, guys, this is an important package. You don't want Putin. We can't give up on the Ukrainians. We can't let Putin take over. This is very important. They're talking about, this is actually a very good investment. Instead of having the United States going there, having troops there, having troops die, this is actually a cheap way of, fighting Putin, right? It's a proxy war, but it's on paper, it's a good budget way to fight a war.
What,
when you're in a war, but you're not really in a war.
Okay.
Ukraine is kind of a proxy. Okay. Is a proxy. They pass through the Senate, goes to the House Commons. Republicans there. No, we're not doing anything. We're not doing no Ukraine pact or anything until we solve the immigration border. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
You had the opportunity.
They had the opportunity, and now they don't want to do that.
They're not cooperating.
They're not cooperating. And now they're saying we need 2 weeks vacation to think about this. So Congress is closing for 2 weeks. Isn't this the hypocrisy of these people? This is disgusting politics. Look at this shit.
Capitalism at its best in the States, man.
I don't know if that's necessarily capitalism. I don't call it capitalism. That's for sure.
This is politics. That's they don't want Democrats looking good. Yeah. They don't want them to be the
people are just stabbing each other on the back right now. Obviously,
they don't care about the people. They just care about their own pockets over there.
All I'm trying to say is, me personally, when it comes down to politics and governments, I am so far distant and caring. The less I pay in taxes, the happier I am as a person. Personally, okay, I'm gonna boil it all down to, for me as a taxpayer in this country. We're talking about Canada for ourselves. Now their fucking politics. Oh my gosh, I am so not even. It always sickens me. I'd rather have a type of a system, a government that will at least have a conversation, have the debate, and come to a resolution, of course. And not just this makes us look bad. Of course, that's the worst type of. That doesn't make sense. It's just you're stabbing each other in the back. That's all it is. You're not. The people are always failing in the end.
Well, for me, especially in the States, the Republicans today are really about just winning. This game of winning, owning the libs. It's really bad politics. It's not even politics to do anything. They don't want to pass. They don't want to govern. Democrats want to govern. These guys they just want to look. They just want to go. They just want to make the other team look bad. That's what I find, and they govern like that. If the guys have a good policy or a good thing, they don't want to do it because it makes them look good. It's really fucked up. It is really fucked up, and the hypocrisy is crazy.
Well, I'm gonna push back on your the beginning part that you were talking about was about economic resiliency, which has been surprisingly very, very amazing for the States and the world in general. I don't know if it's necessarily because of governments that this is an actual thing that's happening, the Goldilocks economy that we have, that things are still going, in motion. Even though right now we're starting to hear of setbacks from companies saying, okay, there's a lot of layoffs that are happening. Bell just killed us, 5,000 jobs just got crushed. We don't,
Not only
it
Bell,
doesn't.
everybody.
Yeah, there's a lot of companies that have been laying off, but these are a type of things that it takes time to digest in the economy. We had a lot of excess savings. One of the reasons why there was inflation, excess savings in our pocket, and that was given from the governments. And people, they stopped spending at one point, and they just started collecting, and collecting, and collecting. All of a sudden, you have excess, and that's why everybody was spending and spending and spending. When you start let's just say, getting interest rates up to like 5%, 6%. You know what happens to that savings that you have? That earns money now all of a sudden. So that little chunk of change, okay, you're actually making money on that money because you weren't doing
How
that.
do you make money?
Because people spent that money.
How do you make money on your
That's the
bank
problem.
account? Like,
No,
what do you
well,
mean? Through
nowadays
investments or
through investments, through
okay,
GICs,
through investments.
you're 5% on $100,000. Hey, guess what? It's 5,000
Yeah.
bucks. That's all of a sudden that little chunk of change. It starts growing. It's great. But when does that end? Kind of thing. We don't know yet, and I don't know if I can't. I'll never attribute much economy growth to governments all that much. I won't say that. I don't think that I believe that they will be the. You have to pay attention, of course. You have to pay attention when they pass a bill and say, okay, we're going to be spending money on infrastructure. Well, hey, this is good, kind of thing. But the economy, it's a matter of trust. And right now we have a stability of trust. And interest rates help bring trust, by the way, at a certain point. When things go a little bit out of whack, when it's too high interest rates, people feel the pinch. You can't buy a house. You can't.
Are you feeling it now?
Yeah, people are feeling it now, for sure. Because we're not in that, especially us at our age. But those retirees, holy cow, they're having a blast. They're actually making money on their money. Whereas they didn't have to speculate because they don't want to speculate. Retirees don't want to speculate. They want to earn money on their money and just keep it simple.
Oh, they're at that age, right?
Yeah. So, hey, I mean, for the ones that have money, great, good for them. And that creates this type of enjoyment for them. For the ones that have a mortgage that's $500,000, $600,000, that's a bit underwater because they lost their job, and the interest rates just caught up. All of a sudden, they were in the variable rate, and now I've heard of a person, people. And there's going to be all kinds of.
That's not an
different-
excuse. Variable rate, you can push. When you see the market, you're not paying attention to the market, and you see that the rates are going up. Lock it in instead of continuing to let that rate go up and up and up.
You have this wisdom. Not everybody does.
But
You
it's
have the
logical.
You have a banking understanding.
But wait, you go to a bank and you know nothing about mortgages, and you're buying a house. The first thing they tell you is they ask you, do you want a fixed or do you want a variable mortgage?
And,
And if you don't know, you're gonna ask them, what is a fixed mortgage? What is a variable mortgage? And they're gonna explain to you as simple as possible what it is. So when you're buying a house, you should be understanding if you're taking a variable mortgage, what it is and what you could do if you're not happy with it, because it's gonna fluctuate.
I
So
think
if you
people.
see that the market is changing, it's up to you. So people are just stupid. It's on them,
well, okay.
right?
I think people, when they see variable and fixed, and you don't understand it, like variable is a lot cheaper. And when you're variable, they don't understand that it could.
Well, no, it's part of the banker's responsibility. It's cheaper, but it's gonna fluctuate. It's not necessarily cheaper. It could.
Well, usually when you compare fixed rate to variable rate, well, not usually.
If the market is low, you take it
Exactly.
fixed. Compare if the market is is not stable and it's high, and you're it's good to go variable because the fixed rate is high. Go variable and you keep an eye on it. If you see that it goes low and you can decide to lock it in or stay. If you see that it goes high, lock it in before it skyrockets and then you're screwed and you can't freaking afford your house anymore.
Okay, so this lady who ended up purchasing a home
Yeah.
in Nova Scotia, all right? So Nova Scotia's been having a huge boom. You saw that?
I think when she was going with 200 people there. That's what you're talking about?
No, this lady, she ended up purchasing a home at the boom, pretty much. So the home was originally listed for $450,000.
Why is it booming?
I don't know. There's lack of supply probably in that area, kind of thing. It's pretty
Yeah.
much simple as that. And you know, people have nothing else better to do than to buy houses. I don't know. And the girl, she purchased this home, $200,000 over asking price. Okay, so she was at a decent job. She was working at Microsoft. At $650,000. She must have put $50,000 down. I don't know. She has a $600,000 mortgage now. Doesn't Microsoft lay her off? Doesn't the interest rates jump, whatever, a certain amount? I think 4% in 1 year, guys. Who's smart? Sometimes you don't even know.
Exactly. It was
Every freaking quarter they're talking. Okay, 1%. Well, guess what? This if you're not in the know a little bit, just a bit, if you're not smart in that sense, well, guess what? It caught you right in the ass, and now all of a sudden you're locked in at 6%. Oh my gosh! Well, I better fix it now. You're fixing. Guess what? This woman now declares bankruptcy. She cannot pay. She's the bank seized her home, but guess what? They can't even sell this home. She tried on her own, by the way, to sell this home. She couldn't sell it. She defaulted on her loan, but guess what? The home is now worth $400,000, $450,000. She owes the bank $200,000, and there's no recourse to it. You have to pay. Bankruptcy, no bankruptcy, it doesn't matter.
Crazy. I was thinking.
Hey guys, you know what? I have to talk about my economy stuff. No.
Let's do it, man.
All right, man. What the heck? Can we pull out a freaking trading, or maybe Yahoo Finance? It's fine, who cares? Because trading view might be a little too intense for the computer. So you may just look on up on top on the search button. You do NVIDIA. Let's see, NVDA, which is a joke, man. Holy cow! But anyways, you guys, man, holy cow! Look at the winner of the freaking year over here. So do a 1 year chart. Press on 1 year. Yeah, blow that. Look at that.
Look at that.
Full screen. Do a full screen on top of that. Let's do fun. Yeah, right there. Look at this beautiful. Look at this bad boy. Feels like as if it doesn't even look good.
When
Well,
when did he describe the new AI chips? Was probably what, in November? No, when did he do? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about. They're launching these new AI chips.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been like, announcing, even at semiconductors too. Like, they've been also announcing a bunch of stuff, and yeah, it's obviously a company that's in the need, right? But we're talking about
AI chips.
yeah,
They produce, actually their main thing was video graphic cards. Well, I know them as from video graphic cards.
about 5 year chart just for fun. In the 5 year chart. NVIDIA right now is at a valuation of about $2 trillion almost. Look at that. So it's hard to see on this, but if you're talking about it in 2020, just purchase your stock at 2020, 5 years. Yeah, I don't even mess around with the max there, but yeah, literally, yeah. So yeah, remember that? That was crazy. In 2000, if you would have purchased it at in 2020.
The stock.
Yeah, let's look at 2020. The price probably about like
the stock is
75 Nvidia.
They're the ones that build the video cards, right?
Yeah. So what the price was is $58. Okay.
2020.
Yeah. So it's
And now it's 700.
50 divided by 50, 15 times your money, right?
You hit
15
this, dude?
times
You have any of
your
this?
money. No, I don't have NVIDIA. No, I don't. Not. This is where I'm at. Like, I think last year I was like in my head, like, I should have been purchasing NVIDIA. I just, I obviously had a thesis that did not go my way, of course.
You were aware of NVIDIA? You know
I was
NVIDIA?
NVIDIA, yeah. People were talking about NVIDIA, like, they were talking about AI chips and how important these companies are going to be. And, I just like, okay, it already looks high to me. How much higher can it go? Well, now we're in bubble territory, okay?
Or it's gonna drop.
Okay, take a look at SMCI, which is another crazy company. Yeah, do SMCI. Superconductor. Look at this. Yeah.
Taiwanese company?
No, super micro computer. This is look at this thing. Oh my gosh! So it hit, I think, $1,000 yesterday or something. If you look at it, let's say on the month for fun, take a look at the monthly chart. Okay, so it hit 1,000. It hit a freaking 1,000, and it went back down to 800. So it lost 20%. Yeah, that was just yesterday, the 14th. Okay, freaking on Valentine's Day, it was $1,000. So
What do they do?
This is another.
They're getting the AI game. Yeah, what is it?
They're in another chip company.
I know, but what? I mean, I'm asking what
probably
happened
everybody,
what happened?
anybody, and everybody that's talking about AI, they're all getting these crazy valuations.
So high one day and
It's just like this is.
Got hyped up and went a frenzy, and then it didn't really drop that much.
It went back to where it was the day before.
I was considering to short NVIDIA when it was at 750. And if
You're betting against them, you're betting against NVIDIA.
But this is not my cup of tea. Bubbles are hard to time, of course, but eventually when they crash, you can make some crazy money. Just like this. For
I
me,
don't think NVIDIA
at 1,000, I would have easily put.
What do you mean short? Like bet against them?
Yeah, you bet against them.
You're betting that they're not gonna do good.
No, I think that the valuations are too high. That's all. I'm not saying that they're not gonna do good. I'm just thinking now the market has appreciated this stock too much, and that's what happens. This is like the .com bubble. You could have just pet.com, shit.com, and all of a sudden
NVIDIA is a solid company.
Yeah,
they are the
100%.
they're the staple of gaming.
I understand all this point, but when it comes down to your earnings per share, there's a moment where valuations don't make any more sense. When it takes you 5 years to recuperate the earnings per share that you think you're going to be achieving. It's not viable to invest. Just like when, Tesla at a certain point, and if you look at Tesla, you can go to Tesla for fun, when everybody was on the fucking, oh my gosh, this is it, this is going to be, and I agree. It was much better investment than Ford or any other stupid car company. But take a look at in a 5-year chart, whatever, a year chart. There you go. See, this is overvaluation.
How so?
5 years, right? This happens. So not, NVIDIA, SMCI, it's going to go through this type of pattern eventually. It takes time to digest. It can't just keep on. This is a hockey stick moment right now, guys. There's no such thing as a hockey stick moment. When it's like this,
hockey stick moment. That's interesting. I like that.
That's
when it just pops up.
Well, you saw that. It's like it grows, and all of a sudden it goes to the fucking moon, and that's not cool. Just like Bitcoin at one point, everybody, all of us, when your freaking barber's talking to you about stocks and talking about like, oh my gosh, I just invested in Tesla in 2022. And that's the time you want to say thanks, but no thanks.
Bitcoin went back up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's some
70,000 right now in CAD. Yeah, in CAD. This is CAD. The CAD too. By the way, the reason why it's also up in CAD is because.
Question: what's CAD?
CAD is Canadian dollars.
Okay.
So Canadian dollar terms, Yeah, because our Canadian dollar also went down too. So at the same time, Bitcoin went up. And
What is our dollar at compared to the States?
still 70 cents, whatever.
Yeah, it's still the
70.
same. Okay.
So yeah, hey, it's actually surpassing our high in. It looks like on a monthly chart. But anyways,
So that's your stock of the week?
that's the winner. That's definitely the
What's the
fucking
loser?
winner.
What's the loser?
The losers has been my freaking miners for gold. So if you look at a stock like
Did you see that video I sent you of
yeah, that's nuts. That's but
scrapping like old electronics for?
it's a lot of work. Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but from
For
what
the
I
ones
learned,
that
if you
are-
actually have the production, like if you
Yeah.
actually have a system and
Sure.
everything, you can actually make
Might
money.
as well
Yeah.
do it. We're talking about a freaking company. We want to start get the kids.
I'm gonna be those guys.
Bring
on
the
the
kids.
I'm gonna be those guys on
What?
the those
The
guys on the
video
pickup
that's,
trucks on garbage day, driving around, stopping
baby.
everywhere.
Talking about like you mean like getting the
Scrappers.
Scrappers. You know what?
Platinum and palladium go back up. Listen, guys. I understand this the precious metals so much, but for God's sakes, like when you've been in the sector so long that you're almost discouraged being it, and you actually sell your stake. That's where I've been in this type of position a few times in my life for the stupidity of a freaking market. Now, take a look at a stock, let's say like Newmont, which is one of the strongest gold companies, NEM. The price of gold right now, Newmont, just NEM, that's perfect. It should be good.
NEM.
Newmont, yeah, right there. All right, so
What are these guys?
this is the reverse. This is the reverse hockey stick. Okay, it's going the other way now.
This is
So
just mining in
this is
general,
5
or
years.
specifically gold or something?
This
or?
is a gold company
Okay.
that produces gold. Put it this way: can you imagine? The price of gold is at 2,000 plus American dollars, which is equal to, let's say, $2,300 Canadian. This company, you see that blip all the way up there? Take a look at what the price was at the high in June of 2022. Let's just say, put it up there. What was the price?
It's high over here.
Yeah, the high, yeah, pretty much it. That's it. Okay, $85. What are we today? $33.
This is for gold.
33. It says in the stock price. That's maybe the medium. It's maybe the medium. I'm not sure. Maybe. So, okay. So, gold is at $2,000 in 2022. You know what the price was of gold? $1,600. Okay. 2022. The price of gold was $1,006, maybe $1,007, the average. They are printing money right now. This company is printing money like no tomorrow.
Why? Because they have a big gold mine.
Because they are doing great on their production. They have, their margins are crazy. It costs them $600 to mine per ounce. They're selling at $2,000 an ounce. Big money, all right, as a profit margin. Now, why is this stock at $33.50? Because sentiment. When sentiment changes eventually, and sentiment, it runs everything. It hurts you so bad
Because everything's not being
because
sold in
momentum.
gold, right?
Look at momentum right now. The momentum, once it crashed, nobody wants to pick it up. Nobody wants to. It's a falling knife. You're just picking up a falling knife always, and you're getting your hand freaking sliced and sliced and sliced. Eventually, you take that chain mail glove and you grab it, that knife, and you're like, I'm gonna hold it for fucking ever. So now's the moment, in my opinion, where eventually you're gonna see that like the AI revolution price-wise to these gold miners. Okay, when that hockey stick moment, it's gonna be even worse than that. That's $75, what, $85. It's gonna be a joke. This is a $150 company with closing my eyes, but
So it's gonna go up. You're saying?
100%.
So this stock is what your long shot, your what is it?
No, this
Hail Mary stock?
this is not a Hail Mary.
No?
This is not even
This
a Hail
is
Mary whatsoever.
This is a sure bet.
This is a I would say a 75% bet that it goes to 100 the next 5
So I
years.
should remortgage the house right now.
Sell it. Do it. Freaking, you know
I'm
what?
just saying that.
Sorry, James,
wanna
you're not going to
switch
college.
we want to switch back to trading in gold, right? Well,
Gold is always going to be it's a bar, just like Bitcoin is a standard of a currency. This has been historically a currency forever. It's money. You
It actually has physical value.
Of course, the story is that 1 ounce of gold will always buy you a suit, a beautiful tailored suit. And in history, it's always been constant. So there's valuations.
I've always been fascinated by gold in the sense, I understand now the modern age why gold is important in electronics. I get that. But why was it always always a high end commodity?
Because it was
why? Because it looked pretty.
because it was money. It was a way
but
to.
why was it gold? Why gold?
Why?
Why couldn't it be platinum? Or why couldn't it be fucking, I don't know.
Because it's harder to get platinum, first of all, and it's harder to get palladium, and it's harder to get silver. Is a different story. It's been equal almost.
Like why 2,000 years ago gold was still like so much value? Like it's crazy. Like I always thought about that. Why gold?
It's owned. It's just like seashells at one point, right? Then they realize, holy cow, you find seashells everywhere. You know what I mean? They realize, wait a sec, okay, our seashell game is over.
I think seashell was actually
it was the first currency. Pretty much the first currency was seashells. Yeah. Second was the metals. And gold was so shiny, it's bright, it's fungible, it can be devised, right? It can be molten and separated in so many ways. It's beautiful metal.
Yeah, but why do we attach so much value to it? That's
also it's limited, so you can't mine it as much as possible. And all of a sudden, you find that it's hard to find. Truthfully, if you see
who cares if it's hard to find? Like, and it's like,
yeah, but paper. What is more paper more worth it?
No,
what's going to keep your wealth? In other words. And for them in the times, it's always been something that, and just like why is Bitcoin an actual currency right now?
Because we believe in it. Because people believe in it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
And what is gold too?
And I find people idiots for believing in Bitcoin.
Yeah,
because you made your computer do an algorithm. All of a sudden, you have wealth. Like the basis of Bitcoin. I understand the security aspect and the openness and decentralized, that part I understand.
Yeah.
But to put value on a Bitcoin, I never understood. I understand why people put, but it's basically just saying, you know what, I might as well just believe in this now, and now it has value. Same thing like gold. Why? It's because it's a shiny metal. Especially
the same thing with money.
Huh?
But
in the end, yeah.
Right, what is money?
But I understand a currency. I understand you have to have a currency. I just don't understand why gold was that. Like, I know it's maybe to me, like to you, it's a stupid question, but me, it's like, why did people emphasize so much gold? Because of the rarity and because they were shiny.
How else are you going to transfer a payment system? That's so. Before, what was it? It was barter system.
Yeah,
right?
you trade the.
So, but that's not equal, right? Because
how do you think
you're a shoemaker and you're making a shoe?
How do you think paper money was created?
How was it? Okay, so the story is
no, because
I know exactly
because you had gold in one city, right? You didn't want to carry all that gold.
The banker had.
You didn't want to carry all that gold on your camels to go to the next town. So the banker gave you a piece of paper saying, when you go to the next town, that guy over there is going to give you that much gold.
Yeah.
It was like an insurance paper. You can leave this gold with this guy. He gives you a paper.
That will cover.
You go to the other town.
It's called a receipt, by the way.
Exactly. It's like kind of like a receipt.
That's a receipt.
You go to the other guy at the next village that knows this guy very well, and says, okay, so he has gold in that. Okay, so I'll give you the gold because I know that guy in the other city has the gold.
How complicated that becomes.
So it was a way to carry value without actually carrying the value with you. It was kind of like a receipt. So that's what paper money came from, basically. The concept of that.
Yeah, because once upon a time, the $20 American note was worth 1 ounce of gold. Okay, when the American government had a standard, the gold standard, and so you would go to the bank and listen. I want my gold back. So you give them all their receipts, and you'd get your gold back. But what happened eventually? People go and bust, this, that. It's not the banking was not well kept, of course.
Well, it
And-
wasn't
well,
guaranteed. It wasn't
they issued too many receipts, Brian.
Exactly.
That's what happened.
exactly.
They issued
like
receipts to
banks do
anybody.
now. They loan out more money than they
Yeah,
have
of
in the
course.
coffers. You
Yeah,
know?
it's
Let's sign off, guys. This is our first podcast. Hopefully, next time we see you, we'll come up with a name and have a channel and give us a thumbs up, subscribe. Tony, you want to say anything?
Thanks.
Click. Hard, man.
click
Press
it, baby.
down.
Click it.
Press down. Bro, it's not touch screen over here.
I have nothing to say.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you. Steve. Steve, what was the
So-
shit stock of the week, though?
My shit stock. Well, yeah, the shit stock was officially my miners. That's
Okay. Sorry.
anyways, yeah. But guys, if you're really looking to help a brother out, to invest, hey,
You're gonna post your Venmo and PayPal out? Go
I'm starting an OnlyFans page, you guys. I swear, only G-strings, okay? I won't be exposing anything else, but no, honestly, let's sign off. But guess what? We have to figure out a freaking name. Let's do that.
We definitely have to. So we'll meeting adjourned, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Alla prossima.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.